everyone. Happy September. Welcome you joining today's REALTOR Safety Summit. I'm Pauline Lam, your 2020 co-chair, Education Committee. I would like to thank our 2020 President, Mindy Ye, Education Committee members, and all of you to make this meeting possible. Thank you. Before the meeting starts, all participants will be muted, and should you have any questions, please put into the chat box. Speaker will answer you during the Q&A section. This meeting is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel, WSGVR Valley Realtors. Now, I would like to have our Mr. Mel Wong, Education Committee member, to introduce you our first speaker, Mr. Manson Lee. Mel, take it away.
Thank you, Pauline. Thank you, Albert. And first of all, I want to thank Mr. Buck Stapleton, since he was the one that recommended Mr. Manson Lee. Buck is a retired officer too, and he's my go-to person when it comes to certain topics and things. So thank you, Buck. Anyway, Mr. Lee, he's a retired 30-year veteran of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. He started his career in the Inmate Reception Center and held many positions within the Sheriff's Department. These include Twin Tower Transition Team, Walnut Patrol Station, International Liaison Unit at Sheriff's Information Bureau. He also assisted and worked undercover with many specialized units, including Homicide, Asian Crimes Task Force, Major Crimes, Vice, Family Crimes, Commercial Crimes, and more. So he's very well done anything and everything. Mr. Lee was born in Vietnam to ethnic Chinese parents, fluent in Cantonese, Mandarin, and Vietnamese. His travels has taken him to over 15 countries. On my off-duty time, he spent as a team leader of a 14-member delegation from LA Sheriff's Department and LA Police Department to the 2008 Olympic in Beijing, China. His duties include translator and advanced details for NBC's security. He's also been recognized by former Sheriff Baca, former United States Secretary of Labor Hilda Solis, the Director General of the Ministry of Public Security in China, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, former County of Los Angeles Supervisor Mike Antonovich, former State Senator Bob Huff, former Congressman Gary Miller, former State Senator Richard Montjoy, and former Assembly Member Bob Pacheco. His strengths include self-motivation, initiative, organization, ability to coordinate, multifaceted tasks, interpersonal skills, and willingness to learn. So with this, his resume is so long, I think you got tired of listening to me trying to present it. So Mr. Lee, I'm gonna let you take it away. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mel. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you, Albert. And thank you, Buck Stapleton, for inviting me to this conference. It's great to be here. It's a pleasure. And today I hope to share some information with everybody and keep everybody safe, not feeling safe, but keep everybody safe. So let me get started. That was a very long introduction. I was hoping for a shorter one. Thank you, Mel. Okay, before we get started, there's some disclaimer that I want to present. So can everybody see the screen? Here's a disclaimer. Pretty much you agree and acknowledge that the presentation is for general information and education purpose only. The information provided does not replace independent professional judgment, and that's important. The opinion and view expressed by the presenter, which is me, is not intended to constitute legal advice, and is not the opinion or position of the host, which is the Western San Gabriel Valley Association of Realtors. So that also put you guys also in disclaimer as well. All right. Personal background, let's not get into that. So Mel already did a great introduction on that. And let's get started. Is it safe? Are we safe out there as a realtor doing a job every day? My goal is to get you home at the end of the night and see your family. And that's what we do. When I was in law enforcement, we were taught in the academy that our goal is to go home at the end of the shift, is not to have your loved one or family member get a phone call. Instead, we want to be home. So that goes for all the realtor listening to this presentation. So according to the statistic, people who business bring them to contact with stranger out of their office are mostly at risk than those who stay in the office, right? That's pretty much true because we meet stranger, kind of like law enforcement. We meet stranger every day. We contact stranger and we go to people's home, kind of like a realtor. When you do canvassing, you go to people's home and you knock on the door. You don't know what's behind that door. But at least we have a sidearm to protect. Realtors kind of doesn't carry a sidearm like we do. So, but you have to think like we do a bit to be safe out there, is to make sure that every second you will be aware of your surrounding and who's behind you and so forth. Now, the professional beside real estate agent is insurance agent, also among those who place themselves in potential compromise position every day on a daily basis. Now, criminal, they come in different size, and they could be anybody. It could be the homeowner, could be somebody smaller than you in size, could be somebody bigger than you in size. It could be somebody well-dressed. It could be somebody that's just dressed sloppy, and those are easy to identify. It's the well-dressed one that is hard to identify. So what do we do as a realtor? We have to have common sense. We have to be smart. We have to be outsmart them. Now, this is a statistic from the National Association of Realtors in 2018 when they did the survey. 33% of realtors say that they're fear for the personal safety when they're out there doing their jobs. So this number didn't come from me. It came from National Association of Realtors. So obviously there is a concern. 33% of us think about it, or came across their mind about our safety when we do a job. So why are realtors being a target? Well, let's see. We advertise everywhere we can. We put a picture, a glamorous photo, our contact information, all over the place. Billboard, bus bench, internet website, for sale sign, business card, mailing, calendar, postcard, refrigerator magnet, and so on and so on. We don't want to be a secret agent. We want to be a agent, real estate agent. We want everybody to know. We want a family to know. We want a neighbor to know, so we could get the next listing, the next sale. Somebody wants to sell their home, or somebody wants to buy the home. And that's our job, and that's what we do. And so that put us in a position where our information is advertised. So the criminal, the crooks, can easily get in touch with you through these different advertisements. We also work alone most of the time when we try to get listing canvassing, doing open house, and showing houses. Those are the three most dangerous, kind of like law enforcement. When we are most vulnerable is when we go to service call for domestic violence at a house. We don't know what's in there, how many guns in there, knife. And usually domestic violence is emotionally charged, either husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. They get in an argument. Guess who they're gonna call? They're gonna call the police. So we're gonna be there, and first thing we do, we enter the house. I'm giving you my experience, is that we go in there, we do a what we call a scan of the location. So as a realtor, if you have contact with somebody, you knock on the door, they open the door. If you can see the inside, that's what we do. We scan the inside to see if there's any more people in there, additional person. any gun, any weapons, you're going to be doing the same thing. So if you are not able to see, don't go into the house. It's not safe. Once you go into the house, we're not familiar with the house. The person behind that door familiar with the house. So they could trap you, they could lead you to somewhere, and they could kidnap you. And, you know, not to be sound scary, it does happen. It does happen. Average about 60, 70 realtors get killed or missing or get kidnapped or get involved in incident that they are not ready for per year. So these are the incidents. Am I going too fast? Just let me know. Just type in and then let me know if I'm going too fast. December 2010, Texas realtor brutally attacked while showing a multi-million-dollar listing. So showing is the key word here, showing a home. And you know, she get attacked. August 2011, Nebraska. Assaulted while hosting an open house. Another situation where you could be attacked, could be assaulted, could be kidnapped, or even murdered. So we'll go into a little bit more detail on what to do, you know, what situation and all that. I'm just giving you some incident here. July 2011, Georgia, you know, and so on. You can see that is showing a vacant property. April 2011, Iowa realtor, and showing a model townhome. September 24th, they actually arrested the suspect and asked, why do you attack a realtor? Because it says she was working alone. So how do we overcome that by working alone? And we're gonna give you some detail that put out by National Association of Realtors. But I'm here today to show you there's some great idea out there, but they're not practical. So we're gonna go into that. So what I like to do is to show you a quick video that is put together by National Association of Realtors. So just bear with me, it's gonna be a short one. And they also put out a lot of information handout on what you need to do to prepare yourself for, to be safe out there, and office protocol, your personal protocol. Okay, let me show you the video real quick here.
As a real estate professional, you are in a unique position that most working professionals never face. In your business, you often share your contact information openly with others, meet unknown clients, and walk through vacant properties, to name a few. It's because of the unique nature of this business that it's critical for all real estate professionals to have personal safety protocols in place that you follow every day, with every client, every time. So what kind of safety protocols should you implement into your daily routine? Here are a few to consider.
Can you hear the
When
audio
meeting
too?
a client for the first time, do not meet a new client at a property right away without first having an initial meeting at your office or a public space, like a coffee shop. During the initial meeting, make copies or take photos of the client's driver's license and pre-approval letter for your records. This precaution allows you to keep a record at the office of who your clients are, their information, and a calendar of appointments. When first meeting with a new client, you should discuss the types of real estate they're interested in and walk them through the safety protocols you have in place for all clients. Now you can arrange showings, meet them at properties, and schedule open houses to help them through the biggest financial decision of their life. When viewing a property, it's okay to ask your client to drive separately. This is a safety precaution for you as much as it is for them, not to mention you might both have appointments to go to before or afterward.
Hey, this is cute.
As you tour a property, walk behind your client. This routine safety measure allows them to see the room first and make their own impressions. Many agents do not go into attics, garages, or basements as an additional safety measure, but encourage your client to look around and let you know what they think. It is a safe practice to only show vacant properties which might not have electricity during daylight hours. This allows you to see what safety hazards may exist, like a loose floorboard or any defects the house may have.
It's got potential.
When holding an open house, advise your clients to board their pets and remove jewelry, family photos, credit card receipts, artwork, prescription drugs, and any other valued possessions from the home in advance of the open house. This is just one way to look out for your client and to keep their property and belongings secure. Keep a record of who entered the house by asking everyone who walks in the door to sign in with their name and phone number or show a photo ID. There is something to be said about safety in numbers. Consider bringing along a colleague when holding an open house. If there are several potential buyers walking through the home, even better to have 2 agents on hand to answer questions and keep an eye on things. Safety is an important part of real estate. Be prepared and follow the protocols and processes that have been put in place to keep you and your clients safe. For more information and additional resources, visit www.nar.realtor/safety.
So there's some other information that is put out by the National Association of Realtors. You could go onto the website and type in the word safety that was shown on the video. And it has pamphlet, handout, and information that you could use it for yourself, for your office, and so forth. But these are just suggestions, great suggestion, but I can tell you it's not practical. We'll go into that in a little bit. A lot of them will tell you on the initial meeting, you would ask them to go to your office or go to Starbucks somewhere, you saw on the video. Get a copy of their photo and then driver license or a photo ID somehow. If they don't give it to you, what are you going to do? Those are the things. So let's say you get a copy of their ID. Now, are you going to be able to verify that ID is legit, is real? I mean, it's great to have an idea to have all this protocol, but that's after the fact. After that something happened, it's just something for us to go on to start the lead, to start looking for you. What I want to share today is to make sure you're safe, to prevent that from happening. So common sense come into play a lot. You're going to be by yourself out there. They have protocols that, call your office, let them know where you're at. Just imagine your office. You have a real estate office. How many other agents are working in your office? 40, 50, 100, 200s? You think there's office staff going to be able to remember where you are? You imagine every single one of them went to a showing and called the office. Hey, I'm so-and-so. I'm at such and such location. You don't hear from me in about 5 minutes, give me a call and something like that. So, you're on your own. You're out there by yourself. That's why I want to share this information with you today to protect yourself. Who's going to best protect yourself? You are going to be the one, because you are at the location at that time. If something were to happen, you are it. If you have somebody else with you, that will be much better. You have a better chance, you have a better odds. So it depends on how many suspects, how many criminals have bad intention. The more the number we have, the better we have. Just like if you see a lot of incident with the police, why do we come in number? The reason is that to overcome, to control the situation. Number has a lot to do with it. The more people there, or the more of us there, the chance of us getting into an incident is less likely. So leave a copy. Let's go back to the presentation here. Leave a copy of the, move this up. Leave a copy posted in the office along with other identified information with your coworker. Introduce to your coworker in the office. Tell the office staff in front of your client you will be calling the office periodically. Those are good suggestions, but a lot of times not practical. Just you think about it, it's not really practical. It's very tough for office staff to keep track of you. Other place where we're going to be vulnerable is going to be as showing. They suggest call your office upon arrival at each location, which is a great idea as a safety check. If no one answers, call back and fake it. And then you could even set up a code word or when you call and ask the office, say, hey, can you get me the red file, right? Red file means it's a red flag. That means I'm in danger or send help or whatever. Now, with that said, is the office staff trained on that? Are they familiar with that? So that's another issue that you need to be aware of. let's say that particular office staff is trained on that, happened to be on the break or went to the restroom, and somebody else answered the phone, and they're like, red flag, what red flag? What are you talking about? So yes, it works only if you train. It's like us in law enforcement, it's about training. Training, 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 and be aware. Okay, also here it says, take your own vehicle and ask the client to follow you in the car. That is always good advice. We do that anyway. We don't want to pick up stranger or put stranger in a car. Most of the client, we already know them before we take them in a car, but most of the time we would not take them in a car. I do not take them in a car unless I know them pretty well. Your office should have all your vehicle information, which is correct. Not only your office, your family members should have it. Your loved ones should have it. Communicate without a realtor about your suspicious individual or incident, which is another great suggestion. If you suspect that something's not right, tell other about it so that they are aware when the police start an investigation. When after the fact, after the incident, something happened to you, we would have some information to go on. Carry your cell phone with you. That's pretty much given nowadays. So everybody carry their cell phone with them. Another place where we become vulnerable is open house. A lot of time we do it by ourselves, doors open, but we don't do open house anymore, which is a great thing because of COVID-19. But we still do, but at least do it with 2 or more agents together. That will be much safer. Remember, going back to the numbers again, the more number we have as a suspect, they come in, they have to worry about more person they have to deal with. So we outnumber them. The key is to outnumber the suspect. If they even think about it, they see 2 or 3 people, they may say, this is not a good time. They'll go out, they'll come, they'll try to come back with more people, and then you're gonna know that something is up, and you could always feel them out. Allow prospect to self-tour or walk behind them. Always walk behind them, do not lead. If you lead, turn around, look at them, try to walk backward if you're gonna lead. If you wanna do that, just like do a sale presentation. So you just don't walk blindly in front of them. You want to face them. Okay, neighborhoods should know you are showing, and pretty obvious when you have an open house or a showing, people would know, your neighbor would know. Never advertise the home as vacant. Yes, that would be a good idea. If you advertise as vacant, not that you will be there, it could be in danger, but the homeowner property might get burglarized because they know that nobody's there, or homeless people might break in if they see for sale sign. They might not necessarily know that's vacant, but homeless might go in there and occupy the property. Doing a showing, do not wear expensive jewelry because you could get robbed. Robbery is more of a opportunity crime when they see, and a lot of times they don't plan for it. If they plan for it, they already been suspecting you or following you or noticing you wearing all this expensive jewelry. Lock your purse, your keys out of the sales office area. So when there's a lot of people coming in, you're gonna have your attention gonna be not to your personal belongings. You're gonna be with the client. You want to sell that house. So you're gonna be focusing 100 and 200% of your energy, try to sell that house. So thief and burglar will try to steal the easy target, which is your purse, your keys, take your car. So just keep that in mind. Now, what do you do when something happened? This is more of practical things to do because you're by yourself, and there's nothing you can do right now because you're by yourself and the suspect, the criminal, is here. Now you're being confronted. If it's a robbery, they want your money, give it to them. They want your wallet, give it to them. They want jewelry, give it to them. They want your shoes, your expensive shoes, $5,000 shoes, give it to them. If they want it, that's fine. Make sure, you have some type of a photograph of your shoes or receipt that when you file a report, the police could have a lead. If your shoes or your wallet is very unique, that's very easy to track it down. And remember what they look like. That's most important. That's what they taught us in the academy too. Be a good witness. When we're off duty, we try not to get involved in any incident unless it's life-threatening. Because first of all, we're not wearing a uniform. We don't have the word police or sheriff etched on our forehead. And if something happened, we get involved, and the first police officer arrive at the scene, and I have a gun, and the suspect doesn't have a gun, guess who they're gonna tell me, shoot or tell to drop the gun? Me, because the most dangerous part is the gun. And then hand is the dangerous part as well. A gun do not kill, your hands kill. So we're trained to look for hands, and same thing, you need to look for the hands of your prospects, see where they're at. They're in the pocket. While they're in the pocket, they're walking around, that's suspicious. So are they holding something in there, a pocket knife or a gun? And so these are the things you need to pay a little attention. It's just minor things. So remember, hands will kill. Hand will pull the trigger of the gun. Hand will hold the knife and stab you. The gun itself, the knife itself will not come flying at you. Hand is the one that causes all the action to react. Also, try to remember the manner and the direction of the escape of the suspect, which way they go. We're going to ask that question when the police arrive. Another way is to make a lot of noise, because you're by yourself. Try to make a lot of noise. Crook and suspect does not like to be known. They don't want other people to come in to help you or to figure out what they're doing. Try to make noise, throw chairs around, bang on the window. Even if you have to break a window, break a window. You pay for it later, but you're still gonna be alive, okay? If you have a panic, if you're in the car, use a panic button, use a horn, use pepper spray. These are great stuff, use pepper spray. How many of you carry pepper spray as a realtor, right? Perfect. What are you carrying? You carry it in your purse. Are you gonna be able to have enough time to go to your purse and take it out and start spraying it? Are you trained? Are you well trained on using pepper spray? Are you aware how and to use them? Now, pepper spray will spray a mist coming out. Now, if there are wind in the area, when you spray, if the wind is blowing at your face, it's coming back at you. It's not gonna be at the suspect. So, that's something that you could use, but you need to be well trained on it and how to use it and how often you need to replace it, how effective that pepper spray is. Make sure you check them if you do carry them and use them. Check them for expiration date. Make sure you get the most potent one. If expired, you could still use them, but it's not that effective. So, if it expired, you could use it like hot sauce for your food, chili sauce, because they're spicy. Okay, what do you do when you are actually trapped in the house? If you have to fight, you have to fight. But we always want to, or we've been trained to escape, to try to find a route to escape. When we go to a house, when we do a showing, first thing we do, we scan the house. Like, I just said before, not too long ago, we look for a weapon. That's one of the things we look for. Another thing we look for is escape route, door that we could go out, window that we could crack, or anything that we could use as a weapon in case we get into a fight or we get into a situation that is not in our control. So here's a couple of things that you could always have with you would be your keys. You always have a key with you, right? Especially doing showing, you got to open that door, you have a key. So you hold on to that keys. And then if it's a Supra, there's a box that comes out with it. Don't put the box by the Supra box. Carry that with you. That could be your weapon of choice. when you need to use it. Now, when you need to use your key, that will be your best friend because nobody else is coming, okay? So how to use the key? Can you guys see the screen? Can you put the screen, me? Can you see it? So this is how you would use the key. Use a key, put the key between your index finger and your middle finger, and then hold it as a fist. So here, the key, you have some sharp edges. So if the attacker comes to you, you want to use that key to hit back, not to kill them, but to stop them so you could get away. At any given time, if you could get away, get out that door, go through that window, break that window, make noise, people are coming. So if you are trained to use the key correctly, properly, you aim for their eyes if you can, aim for their throat if you can. Don't aim for the body. You may scratch the body, but that's not going to stop them. The eyes, their throat, right here, this area here, will stop them instantly, will drop them. So my other suggestion is self-defense is something that you might want to look into, especially female. You want to take some self-defense class so you know the basic. Other things around the house could be a fireplace tool, could be a brush, could be umbrella, flashlight. If anything, especially female, you wear high heel shoes, that's a pretty good weapon too. So you could use that as well. Whatever you can, find it, use it. Could be just some furniture that you throw at that person, or keep that distance, or place yourself behind a sofa so you have a distance, a barrier between you and that person, okay? So these are the things you need to think of, and hopefully that will get you out of the place. But at least you put up a fight. We want to keep you safe, not feeling safe. So what you want to do when you first meet the client, you want to ask questions, you want to screen them, you want to fill them out. The key is that if you don't think it's right, if you think you're not comfortable with that client, don't go with them. Verify the information. Again, how do you verify ID card? Are you able to type in somewhere in the computer and verify? No. Even you verify, the photo ID could be fake. You know how many fake ID out there? If they have bad intention in mind, they'll go through all the steps. They go to your office. Their goal is to get you to that home when you're by yourself. Even you go to the office, your coworker, your other realtor, identify that person. And if you have recording of that person, they really don't care. They just want what they want at the end of the day is to attack you, to rape you, to kidnap you, and even murder you, okay? So stay alert and always let the client know first, let them go first in the room. Carry a self-defense weapon, know your option and know the rule. Now, a lot of these defense weapons could be, a gun. I mean, California, are you allowed to carry a gun? No, unless you have a concealed weapon. So even you carry a gun, are you good on using it? Have you have enough practice to use it? Are you gonna be able to use it fast enough? Are you really ready to take that life? That's the question you need to ask. So when we in the academy, the very first question is that we're gonna issue a firearm. If a situation calls for, are you willing to, ready to take a life? And that's the question you're gonna have to answer yourself. So if that does happen, so, that is something you need to think about. If you carry a weapon, if you're not proficient at it, you're not good at it, you're just providing a weapon for your suspect to use on you. So think about that. Okay, here's a survey of self-defense weapon. This is also by the National Association of Realtors. How many of us carry a weapon? About, I'd say 44%. Almost half of us out there carry some type of defensive defense weapon. Most popular is pepper spray, 18%. Firearm, 14%. Pocket knife, 7%. Taser, 5%. Taser is kind of, same thing. Any of these defense weapon, you need to be well-trained, continuously training on it, and be able to access it right away, instantly, okay? Battery operated noisemaker, 3%, some prefer not to say, okay? So what is your best weapon? Is yourself, your keys, whatever you have around you. Scream as loud as you can. Noise is a great deterrent. If you don't have a battery operated noisemaker, you could scream from the bottom of your lung and your neighbor gonna hear it. Or break a window or something, we want you to go home at the end of the day. You might be injured or so what, but you're gonna be alive. You're gonna go home at the end of the day. And that's the goal. So we have some closing thought. There is no perfect defense system out there. We have to put odds in our favor. So by doing what we know today, sharing that information to you so you have some idea, is to put the odds in your favor. And always avoid bad situation. Look to see who's watching you, who's following you. Let's say if you just finished a showing and then you start driving, you notice a vehicle behind you and been following you for a few minutes. So what you start doing is making turn. Make left turn, make right turn. If they still follow you, find the nearest, police station to go to, see if they follow you, or go to a Starbucks and go inside and see if they follow you. Okay, have a plan. Always have a plan before you go. Before you go to a showing, before you do an open house, always have a plan. If this happened, if that happened, what will I do? What should I do? Be prepared. Fail to plan is a plan to fail. So keep that in mind. And I want to first thank you for taking the time to follow me through the presentation. I hope I didn't bore you. Most of our lives are pretty safe day to day. It's important to remember that real estate can be a dangerous profession too, just like law enforcement. With law enforcement, we run toward danger. We don't run away from danger. But as a real estate professional, you could run away from danger because you don't have to respond to a situation. You need to get away. Get away. The best way to stay safe in the job is prepare and actively thinking about safety, constantly safety in the back of our mind. You can see that by the statistics says that about 33% of us worry about our safety when we go out there and do our job, okay? So be safe out there. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm here to help you, to share with you any information. If I don't know it, I'll ask Buck. Buck would know it. Any questions? Anybody have any questions?
There's one, Manson, in the chat box.
Okay.
Mario Manzanilla says, this is where a Kubotan can come into play. It is a self-defense tool exactly for this purpose, to get you out of trouble, and it is easy to carry everywhere. It does take about 2 hours of training to know how to use it. Another thing about the Kubotan, it is very deceiving, and an attacker will not know how to use, whoops, what happened? Somebody else moved me. Deceiving, and an attacker will not know how to use it against you. This can go along with a whistle and pepper spray. I guess Mario is trained on this and self-defense and stuff. So anyway, this is something, your comment on that?
Yeah, that would be something. Any self-defense weapon is great, especially what Mario just mentioned. Something that is not bulky, not hard to access to when you need it. Can you carry on your belt? Can you carry in your purse? Are you going to be able to reach into it right away without the perpetrator noticing it? But remember, the key is to be well trained on it. You're
a little bit soft.
if the suspect or the perpetrator doesn't know how to use it, this is great. That would not be a weapon for them, but it'll be a weapon for you. So you need to be well trained and constantly know how to access it, you know, how to use it properly.
Yeah, you were a little soft, but anyway, Sylvia had a question is, can you show the key again without
Oh,
the
sure.
document on the screen? We see it very far away.
Okay. Can you see me right now, or should I stop the sharing? Okay.
No, we can see you.
Okay. Now, see is it better? Any keys that you have in your hands or in your pocket, or you can even prepare in your pocket. Put the
We
keys
can't see
between.
you. We can't see you.
Can you see it?
No, we need to share the screen.
Okay, hold on. Can you see me? Can you
We
see
can
me?
now.
No?
Yes.
I think Albert needs to do that. I can. Can you guys see me now or no?
Well, we don't have you on the big screen. Albert, can you put him on the big screen? You know, while Albert's doing that, the next question is, Alex Lee is asking, can we use taser gun for open house? Stun gun, I mean.
Well, you need to make sure you train on it, and you know the law allowed, you know, does you know the law does not allow certain taser to be used, so you have to make sure that is allowed when you use the type of stun gun. That could be like some of them like a baton stun gun. Some of them actually look like a gun. So you know, you do what you can at the open house. You have it readily available. Key again is to how fast can you access that? Are you carrying that around your waist or with you all the time? Would that scare your prospect looking at the house? The other thing that I forgot to mention is that if you would have video camera for open house, that's even better. When they come in, at least we could record the incident happen. If it does happen, you know, God
Anyway,
forbid. Yeah.
Victoria says, just tell everyone go to speaker view. So you want to try and do the key demonstration again and see if people can do it on speaker view.
Okay.
Up on the upper right.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, we see. If you look focus on Manson, you can see him. A small screen, but you can see him.
Up on the upper right.
Okay. Can you see
Yeah,
it?
we can see you.
Okay. So what you do is, you know, any keys, especially just use the key for the open for showing or at the showing. There's a key. Just use that key. Put it between your index and your middle fingers. Okay. If it has a ring around it, you know, the ring is like this. See this? And then hold it at like a fist. So basically, you could punch them, you could squeeze them, you could do whatever you want. You know, with that key, it's not going anywhere because between the two fingers, it's straightening the keys. So the reason the key is good, you have all these cutout and pretty sharp. So you could use the key to punch and to go for their eyes, go for their throat. This is where you're gonna drop them. The eye, you're gonna stop them. You know, the most important, stop them from seeing. If you hurt their eyes, they can't see anything, they're blind, so you could get out. If you could drop them, they're gonna fall on the ground, give you time to get out. And, you know, of course, that takes training on, you know, going back to self-defense. But this is something to keep in mind. If that situation does occur, God forbid, then, you know, you have that available. That's the closest thing that you have available. Key is your best friend at that time. So everybody should have a keys in your pocket or somewhere. I mean, I know nowadays the key is pretty much keyless everywhere, but you do need a key to access that home, but not all of them. Some do use combination lock. So if you have a key, use it.
Thank you, Manson.
You want me to
Thank
show
you,
again
Victoria,
or?
for the
Yeah.
tip.
Yeah.
Also, Mario says he tried to buy a stun gun, but no dice. Vendor will not send it. There may be a law that prevents to purchase one in California. Check
Right.
with the law enforcement on this. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I think California is not allowed, but I do see some in the black market. So, I mean, if you were able to get a hold of one from another state and brought it back here and use it, guess what? You're gonna be not arrested, but cited or in violation of the law. But then, think about this: would you mind being in violation of the law or having somebody else find your body in a shallow grave somewhere at the end of the day? So, do what you need to do to get out of that place, to stay safe, to be alive. That's what we've been trained on, is that at the end of the day, you go home to your loved one, to your family. So whatever you need to do, you do it. We deal with the consequences afterward. You get a citation, you'll be fined, and you pay for the fine. Fine, you're still alive. You still, be able to go home to your family. Just like if you were at a showing, that's your client's home. You break that window, okay, at least you're gonna be alive. You pay for that window. Couple $100, $1,000, save your life. I'll do it every day.
All right, thank you, Manson. And one more thing, Mario's last comment says, one more thing, the Kubotan is a keychain. So you have both a Kubotan and keys. So, but
Perfect.
I was taught with the keys, you can scratch and claw with it between your fingers. And let me give you a recent incident that I encountered doing an open house in San Marino. Before I got there, a strange woman, and usually, I'm a big guy, but this woman was dressed with a flak jacket in the middle of summer with dark glasses, like somebody you see in the movies. So you start thinking, okay, what has she got concealed under this flak jacket?
There you go. Yep.
He was hiding in the backyard before I got to the open house. No cars, nothing. So I called the owner. I said, hey, this strange woman here.
Yep.
So I kept them on the phone just in case. And she hung around for a while. But, it gave me the jeebers. Usually I don't take these things too lightly because I've been a realtor for so many years. I've never encountered this. But anyway, I just thought I'd comment to all of you. Things happen. And I think there was an incident where a Beverly Hills realtor was attacked or killed recently, wasn't there?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's good ops. See, that's why I said you got to be aware of your surrounding. Not just, hey, this is the open house, to go look around to see what's hiding behind the bush and so forth. Especially summertime, why are they wearing a flak jacket? That's pretty obvious. There's something wrong. There's something suspicious about it. Most of the time you will say that she's hiding something, but then again, we don't know what that person's intention is, or that could be somebody's crazy, or she just have some medical condition that she is cold all the time and she needs to wear a jacket. It could be nothing, but you never take it lightly. Always take it seriously. That person could hurt you. If it's something not right, it's not, doesn't fit the picture, like what you did, Mel. Call the homeowner. Hey, is this person you know? Is this a neighbor that you know that always do this kind of things, or are they trying to scare your client not to buy the house? These things does happen. So that's good. Mel, that did the right thing. Called a homeowner. And so what happened after that? She left, or?
She hung around for a while. She had some water. She ate my cookie. And then finally, I don't know how she finally left. I asked her, how did you get here? She said, oh, I think she came by cab or something. But anyway, it was just too strange for that situation. So I just did not think that was right.
Yeah. Especially like right now, summertime, and they come in with a jacket.
Yeah, she did have a jacket.
the back of your hair starts standing up, right? Just like us, we have
Exactly.
sense, the sixth sense start kicking in. And that is to our life experience, that would tell us there is something wrong. And, information that we have, the training, and we start thinking about these things like, oh, wait a minute. Now, what you want to do is start creating distance between them. Distance will save your life. We have statistics that officers being killed, even though they have a distance of how close is too close, how far is too far. We go to service call, we have to constantly be in front of people, 4 feet, 6 feet. The key is to keep distance, 10 feet. Even 10 feet, the attacker could come to you within less than a second. Boom, they're there. So, but at least you have some distance, give you a chance of survival, give you a chance to get away, give you a chance to deflect or react. Because a lot of time people get attacked is the surprise. The surprise is where get everybody in trouble. So if you are ready, you have planned, you thinking about safety all the time, that's gonna bring you home at night.
But I think the key thing is that most people, when they encounter situations at the spur of the moment, they panic.
They freeze.
Exactly, they get brain cramps. So
Yeah.
especially women, you gotta start thinking before you, like you say, before you get into the house, what's happening. And I know these realtors, they take it for granted as far as their safety, because when I had my own real estate company, I always preached that, but nobody listens. Like you said, the secret code, who to back you up.
Yeah.
Do they listen? No.
No.
But I think most people got to take it to mind, because these things do happen. But thank you very much for your time and information.
Well, thank you.
And Buck for getting you.
Yeah, I hope this is information that would help everybody and keep everybody safe out there. Again, there's no perfect system out there. We do our best to help you to make yourself aware of the situation, and hopefully this will help everybody. I want to thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, I go to conventions all the time, and I see people selling like necklaces, bracelets, and things where you can pull it and the alarm sounds. So you guys got to be aware these things are available to you, but you got to see it's for your own safety. But again, thank you very much. Pauline,
thank you.
Back to you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Mel. And thank you, Mel. Thank you, Mel. And thank you, Mr. Manson Lee, for your informative presentation. We really learned a lot today, especially I know how to proper hold the key to protect myself. Very important, keep you safe, not feeling safe. We really can apply those most important items to our daily works and our daily life. Now we would like to share a short video to you about REALTOR Safety. After that, we'll start our second section.
I'm Brianne Gingrich, a marketing manager and staff executive for the REALTOR Safety Advisory Committee at NAR. In an ongoing effort to keep REALTOR safety top of mind, NAR dedicates September as REALTOR Safety Month. So this week, we're going to talk to you about REALTOR safety and what members should do to stay safe on the job year-round. Overall, working in the real estate industry is relatively safe, but according to the 2020 REALTOR Safety Survey results, nearly a third of our members have been in a situation where they have felt fear. It is the goal of NAR's REALTOR Safety program that each and every one of our members is vigilant, aware, and educated on how to stay safe so they come home to their families every night. The REALTOR Safety Program is all about helping members understand the risks that they face, which can mean the difference between life and death. Here are some safety tips while working in the office. Safety starts on day one. It's very important for brokers to build a culture of safety in the office and to share the importance of that with their agents on their very first day. It's important to keep records of every client that you are going out on a showing with. Take a copy of their photo ID to have on hand. It's also important to not work in the office alone. and never walk out of the office alone late at night. Here are some safety tips to keep in mind for meetings, showings, and open houses. First and foremost, never meet a potential client alone for the first time. Even if you've spoken on the phone with them, always have them come into your office or meet them in a neutral location like a coffee shop. For open houses as well, bring a colleague, bring a buddy, never host an open house alone. It's important to always have your phone on you. You can use safety apps. You can check in with your colleagues back at the office, a spouse, a friend. It is smart to have a code or distress signal where if you need to let them know that you are in a risky situation and you feel unsafe, you can either text a certain code word or an emoji or say a certain phrase, and they will know that you need help right away. It's important to keep wardrobe in mind. You want to be able to escape quickly if needed. Consider wearing flats. Do not wear flashy jewelry. Lock your purse in the trunk of your car. Keep it somewhere safe, but don't carry it on your person when going to a showing or an open house. At a showing, always let the clients walk in front of you. That way, you can keep an eye on what's going on. No one can surprise you. Never go into an attic, basement, or crawl space at a showing. Let the clients go in, explore it on their own, and let you know what they think. Realtors are friendly, outgoing people, but what can happen is we can overshare information. Don't friend every potential client on Facebook where they know where you're going and when, your favorite places to visit, and your schedule. While we dedicate September as Realtor Safety Month, it's so important to keep safety at the forefront of your mind. Keep it in your conversations. Call each other out on it. Stay safe year-round, every day. To learn more about planning your safety strategy and extensive safety resources, including apps, products, and upcoming webinars, please visit nar.realtor/safety. Thank you, be well, and stay safe.
Welcome back. I'm Alex Lee from KW Executive Education Committee member. Now I would like to introduce our second speaker of today, Mr. Albert Tran, for the topic of real estate safety matters. Safe business is a smart business. Mr. Albert Tran is NAR Real Estate Safety Certified Instructor and WSGVR Western Gabriel Valley of Realtor CEO. So now, without further delay, here's Mr. Albert Tran.
Thank you, Alex. Let me go ahead and share my screen. First of all, when I'm waiting for sharing the screen, I would like to, on behalf of Western Gabriel Valley Realtor, thank you, Mr. Lee, Manson Lee. It was incredible presentation. And I don't think I can do better than him because he is the best law enforcement as well as the best speaker. So please keep in mind, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to be behind him. He is the expert, please. Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen over here if I can find my presentation. Everybody should have a, can you see my presentation? I would like to refer you to the chat box. And look at chat box, you can download the entire menus, about 60-some pages. And that is for the student editions of the menu. And the menu is free. You can just open it up in PDF and review it. I would like to, let me see if I can get a full screen here. Okay, I would like to alert you, and every single page on the PowerPoint, there is a little number on the lower right corner. And when you look at that, that's referred to the pages in the student menu. Now, whatever you hear from Mr. Lee and the videos from Mr. Lee, as well as from the NAR Realtor Safety video, pretty much reinforce on what the booklet says. Think about this. Mr. Lee give us a practical view of the realtor safety, and with that practical is very, very important to know how to keep yourself safe. The book is more in theory, so kind of repeat what Mr. Lee was talking about, and as well as what the video was talking about. So please keep that in mind. I would like to do a little commercial for NAR. They have this thing called C2EX. I would like to encourage you to take a look at this seriously. I signed up for it. When you go to c2ex.realtor, you can you go through the survey and they let you know which competency that you need to take. There are 10 competencies out there for you to select: broker, code ethics, professional standard, social media, all kind of the standard that you can go through and then select. Once you finish, this is not destination course, so and this is not required. It's more volunteer. So if you taking this course, once you're done, of course you can put the C2AX next to your name as like a certification and stuff like that. And it's kind of cool. It's over 67,000 people went to this program out of 1.4 million realtor, and I encourage everybody to look into it. I signed up. I have not finished it yet because I'm more do association management. I don't need to go into do broker and stuff like that. But I'm be interested to see how our realtor members want to do. Now, there are 5 modules in this program. Module number 1 all the way to 5. Number 1, we're talking about high risk real estate, really high risk of business. Now, you heard a lot of statistics from Manson about up to today to 2019 stuff like that. But the book did say that in 2016, 69 fatal injuries, and out of that 69 injury in the survey, 10 of them are homicides. That's really important. And all the statistics don't include unreported incidents either. For instance, let me give you one example. It is my personal experience. In 90s, I was a part-time realtor and I worked in a professional work as an engineer. But at night, one day I went to Van Nuys to help my wife to take a loan application. And I went there about 6:30 at night. This is kind of summertime, so 6:30 still have a lot of lights. And I drove a kind of 1 year new car, Honda Prelude at a time, very shiny red color. So criminal love those nice and beautiful red car, right? So I stopped by. It's a lot of apartment complex. So I walk out the car, open the trunk, take my briefcase. Guess what? A couple of people behind me stop the truck next to me, carry a gun. The passenger guy carry a gun, point at me at the time and say, "Give me your wallet." I still remember vividly. "Give me your wallet and car key." Hey, this car is back then was about $15,000 car. I'm not gonna give you my almost brand new car. So I give the wallet away. And then he's still asking give me the key. Give me your key. So at that time, I just come to United States only, I would say 11 years. So I pretend I didn't speak English pretty well. So I just say, I don't know what you're talking about, but in very broken English at the time. So luckily, because it's an apartment complex and there's people are walk in and out, but very quiet at that night. But some people by that apartment complex walk out. So the president, the driver told the passenger, the guy who carried the gun, say, "No, let's go." So they left the scene, right? I was sent behind the car and shaking like crazy. I never shake like that. And I was shaking for the next 2-3 days. So I walk into the apartment, call the telephone, call into the clients, and the clients live in the second floor. So both of them walk down, the husband and wife walk down, bring me in. They immediately call Van Nuys police for me to take a report. The first thing, police come into the apartment and say, "Are you crazy? Why don't you just give them the key and to save your life?" So I was lucky. I just want to share the information. And that is not one of the statistics. Well, it might be one of the statistics back then because the police take a report. So a lot of statistics have no report incidents. Now, from any survey standpoint, Tuesday and Thursday are the most frequent incident happen, and 1 out of 3 victims are men. Think about it. I'm one of the men there, and I get hit by those. So don't just be careful. Robbery progress to more serious crimes. So in my situation, pretty much robbery, and then the guy take the wallet away, and immediately, half an hour later, he spent filled up gas and spent over $100 on my credit card. And back in the 90s, $100 is not cheap. And then again, I was in the gunpoint, but I have no choice. I have to comply to whatever they want. The statistics also show this was suburban and rural location are very, very, have a lot of crimes incidents. Why real estate is so risky? Like Mr. Lee was talking about image, your image, you drive very nice car and you have a Rolex watch and, dress up very nice suit and so on. So that's a focus of the criminals, meeting a known prospect of the property, unfamiliar property at the art hours because you don't even know them, the property is there, or you sitting at the open house alone. Of course, right now, COVID-19, we don't have that issue, but in the past, or maybe in the future, when no more COVID-19, you still have to be careful with sitting open house by yourself. Entering vacant properties, driving with stranger, and then do multitasking in the car, like you texting as well, talking on the phone at the same time. Those are very, very dangerous. You're also in the public eyes. You have to market yourself, and you put your business card there. You have your name on the side riders and how to contact you with your cell phone and so on. So you are pretty much in the public eyes. You're on the Facebook, Twitter, stuff like that, LinkedIn or other. People see you. People can check you out. Multiple ways to to get contact because of that. You handle all kinds of personal information, as well as you think, hey, who can harm me? Who can harm me doing this? Some other statistic is said that have you been a victim of the crime while on the job? As Mr. Lee was referred to earlier, 33% of people really say yes in this. And also 20% of men fear of the personal safety, and 41% of women are really fear of personal safety too. Earlier, we mentioned suburban and rural area, the fear of personal property, and then, of course, a small town and metropolitan area, about 32% versus 29% there. Is 40% of people meet prospective buyers at the office or neutral location before first viewing a house, which is good. What about the other 60%? Okay, those 60% might not. They might, meet them not at the office, go directly. 42% are using smartphone safety app. How many people? Sorry, I cannot see you, but in the classroom, I asked you how many people are using the commonly used apps. iPhone, Find My Phone. Anybody use that? Feel free to raise your hand by click on the button or put in your chat. I use it constantly. My wife knows exactly where I am, so I share that with her. Vice versa, I know exactly where she is. So it is safe for us. If you don't use iPhone, the GPS for Android, Live 360, all this kind of interesting if you look at this, all this app pretty much do the same thing. I like this Home Snap Pro. If you subscribe to it, so I think about recent show there's about 1 million people using this particular product, and you can set up in the product to give you alarms, set up a interval and alarms too. Be Safe, Grims, Realtor, React Mobiles. There are many out there when you go to iPhone App Store and search for those security apps and so on. It will show you many of them. But those are most frequently used. Okay, we move into module number 2. By the way, let me disclose this. This class is for 1 hour. NAR has another version for 3 hours. Same material, the book that you receive, same material, but they have a different PowerPoint presentation, more elaborate in detail. This one only 1 hour, the other one is 3 hours. So because of the time constraint, we only choose the 1 hour portion. Okay, let's take a look at the safety system to mitigate our risk. Okay. Think about safety all the time. Think about safety. Reminders apply to precautions consistently. Even if you are in the office, talk to your office mates or the other agents about the safety. So make them aware of this safety all the time, because you are very vulnerable when you go out there to do open house or to meet clients. If we don't have a system to save ourselves, then we are a victim of the crime. Special message for men. I think we talked about earlier, 1/3 of men kind of, get also a victim of crime. I'd be one of those. Probably showing safety. The risk is aspect of real estate practice. What the CITO means, come into the office first. Okay, so you bring them into office. Maybe you make copy of their driver license. Have you ever bought a car? When you go to have a car, test drive the car, don't dealer take a picture of your first before they let you get on the car to test drive? Similar concept. I think you can do it at the real estate office. Take their picture. Nowadays it's so easy. Just instead of going and scan it, you can use a cell phone to scan it. Do some background check. Maybe check it online. I don't know if we need to do extensive background check or not, but maybe check it online a bit to find out who this person is. Office should know where you are, who you are with. NR has a lot of checklists where you can have all this information about the individual come to office and have their name, their information, and so on. Just follow their checklist. No showings after dark. I think this is very important. The incidents I talked to you earlier, more I did it in the evening, 6:30, and that's kind of I'm not doing sewing. I went to visit the clients, but that's also after dark and very, very bad timing, because it is I was a target of one of the victims. Park at the curb. This is very important too. When you are going to visit a property, show there, don't park in the driveway, because the prospect might park behind you and they lock you cannot get out. So park the curb, make it easy for you to run or to escape from it. Carry only keys and phones. Those are very important. Like Mr. Lee was talking about, using key as way to protect yourself, and then use phone if you get in a situation where you have to call emergency. And later on, we'll talk about emergency, SOS call, and so on. Never turn your back to the prospect. So you probably better just walk behind the prospect instead of walk in front of them. At least you can observe what's going on. Avoid space that could be trapped. For instance, if we don't have a lot of basement here, if you go in the East Coast, stuff like that, there are a lot of basement that might be hard to get out if you are showing probably in the basement. Distress codes. This is a thing that very important. Secret words or phrases to signal danger. For instance, you might call the office. You know this might be a dangerous situation. Now you just call office and could you please email me the red file? There's no such thing called red file, right? So you probably get a signal to the office people say, hey, I'm in danger. Or maybe you have some kind of code words that you use particularly. So create your own code word and then call the office or call your home, your family, let them know, how to help you out or rescue you. Now, showing safety for the seller. Now, we're talking about seller, okay? When you do listing presentation, probably you tell the seller, okay, what kind of safety measure you're going to do for them. The book is kind of extensive to tell you what to do as well. I think it's good to at least show them. Tell them lock away all the variable items. Drugs. I mean, those people come in probably steal drugs because they can resell it in a black markets or something. Weapons. Some people might have weapons at home, so probably they want to save it somewhere, store it somewhere that cannot be seen. Family information, including photo. I think this is very important too. If you have photo of, if the seller have the photo of the children, maybe you want to sort of store away temporarily until the listing done or something. These are the opportunity for thefts and predators. The virtual tools. I mean, people are looking at virtual tools nowadays. They might have a lot of information that they know about that properties. Before they go there, but some the thefts or predator, they might look into a virtual tool and they have a different thinking of come and steal the property, stuff like that. So we had need extra security while on the market. Not every prospect agent is who they claim to be. All right. So you don't know whether that person is the real estate agent or not. They probably call in and state that they're a real estate agent, but want to show the that person is not the listing agent for the seller. Okay, move on to open house and model home safety. There's no opportunity to screen. The problem with the open house, people walk in, you cannot screen them, you cannot check their background. So what do you do? I mean, this is very difficult situation. So similar to the model home, people walk in and or you can just have them sign the paper and so on. So model home, especially model home, is in a very isolated location, brand new location, and there's no neighbors, not much neighbors around there that you can talk to. So this situation probably better use the buddy system, like Mr. Lee was mentioning, buddy system. And also you might want to learn the property in and out. So make sure that you understand the property. Keep the office family or friend informed of your whereabouts by using those the iPhone for your friends or GPS and Android and all those apps that we talked about earlier. Probably that's the good way to do that. Or you just do by put it in the system. Even you don't have those apps, probably put a system, use some of those secret code to contact them when necessary. Inform the neighbor, ask for their help, and then ask visitors to sign in. When closing up, never assume that the house is vacant. Okay. Listing appointment safety. Want to understand about who referred the client. This could be a alert here. Who is the owner? Learn about history of the properties. If this neighbor is safe or not. And if this isn't real feel right, then just leave it. Don't even bother to move forward with this listing. So always keep safety in mind. All right. Am I go too fast, by the way? I'm not sure you can continue. It's hard when you are on the on this without have no reaction for the audience. So I hope I'm doing the right pace here. And I do have 1 hour to complete this. So I think we're on target at this point. Okay. move on to module number 3, your first line of defense. Now, look at this formula. We have motive plus opportunity equal crime. Motive, the criminal may have motive to come in and steal stuff. Now, if we give them opportunity, that's really equal to crime. So if we take out one of this part away, like for instance, up here, we prevent everything from the safety standpoint, then the criminal, the thief, or not be able to do it. So then, therefore, the crime would be less than likely. So the sense often has to build in the safety sense, our survival instance. What does our instinct feel like? Okay, we doubt, we hesitance, we may be in anxiety, our gut feeling and all that stuff. So those are the things that we have. Now, the question is, do you fight or you fly? You run away? It really depends on many factors here. Physical compatibility and the proximity of the attacker, how far away they are, and whether the attacker has the weapon, and then, or whether you have a knowledge of do self-defense. We talked about it earlier during Mr. Lee's session, and Mary will bring up the self-defense situation there. Now, this is a good book to read if you have a chance to. This particular author wrote the book called Unthinkable, Amanda Ripley. She said, the strongest defense is a plan of what you will do to avoid a high-risk situation, and what you will do if you find yourself in danger. And the book is kind of going over things in September 11, back then when the tower, New York tower was falling down, when the plane hit, the bomb hit the tower, and those people who survived in there kind of thought of, okay, what did they do when that situation happened, and so on. It's kind of interesting to see the quote coming from the book there. The strongest defense is a plan of what you will do to avoid high-risk situation, and what you will do if you find yourself in danger. Okay. Escape. If you have no self-defense skill and you think that's going to be you're in dangers, I think escape is the right way to do. Mr. Lee mentioned about earlier high heel. Let's say if you happen to wear high heel to open house or show properties, and you cannot run away. It's hard. How do you run with a high heel? You probably convert it into it as a weapon instead. Okay, take it out. Maybe you have to run it by foot, but using the high heel to defend yourself. So if you get really threatened, act decisively and escape unharmed. Don't apologize or announce intention. Okay, don't apologize it. Running away is the culture as fighting back. Can you make an escape? So make a decision when you encounter this situation, and it is your life, so you have to protect it. Can you diffuse the situation? Buy time. No, this is kind of contradict yourself. You look at the first two statements, buy time to assess the situation, decide what to do, and then create distraction and escape. But the other hand, if you do something like this, some of the attacker might have two emotions and might be justified for them to attack you more. So it's a difficult situation at this point. Make your own instant decision and move forward. I mean, probably better escape is the good thing. Should you try to defend yourself? Of course, fight back with the Manson's suggestions about using the key, using the thing, high heel or things like that you have in your possessions, whatever you have, or pepper spray. Those are the good things to fight back. But here they said that a conscious decision when escape is not an option, so you need to fight back. How do we respond to a threat? Okay, so this is the process of for us to defend our the threat: denial and delay, which is this cannot be happen. Okay, and then you deliberation. What should I do now? Okay, this not happen, but what should I do now? And you have to make the decision whether you want to do it. And you go through that process again, recycle through denial, delay, and then deliberation, and make your decision. When you have this situation to threat, response to threats is, or your physical response is very stressful, stress hormones. Your heartbeat is going to be increased, the association, and then you keep shutting down. It's a very negative panics might be pants too. What can you do? Confidence and prepare. Module number 4, we talk about the World Wide Web, or Wide Web now. Its most vulnerable point is your computer, tablets, and smartphones. The computers nowadays is very vulnerable, same as our tablets and smartphone. I'm going to give you more of more vulnerable nowadays is look at we have secure camera. They're all on the internet. Potentially people might be able to get in. Hopefully not, because if your secure camera is very secure, then nobody can hack in there. Your internet at home, if you don't secure the password, be able to get into your router or your modem, and they be able to hack into your system and to your computers and tablets and so on. The Internet of the Thing, I'm not sure you heard about that. Internet of the Thing, IoT, which is nowadays refrigerator and microwave and everything are on the internet. So even your thermostats internet, if you're not securing that, the criminal, the bad people might be able to hack in there. So the motives permit bragging rights, and they're the deaf, and also do fraudulent stuff. Especially in the real estate, we have a lot of issue with hacker coming in, and they hack us in terms of real estate transactions. So we have to be really careful of who sent us email. Don't click on the link. The link is very, when they send it and pretend like coming from your office, or pretend like coming from the escrow company or title company, whatever, and force you into, you think it is coming from the office, and you click on the link. Guess what? When you click on the link, it might have some kind of software to store on your computer, run behind it, and then start to hijack your computer, or they become like a ransomware and ask you to pay for monies. I know one association in Northern California, through one of the staff member accidentally clicked on the link and become a ransomware. Ransom for that, their whole system demand money, asked the association to pay for $5,000 to undo they give the password to undo the file, so they'll be able to access all the members' information and so on. Unfortunately, they didn't pay the money, but they have, luckily they have backup throughout the system. Unfortunately, it takes so long to restore the backup. they have one backup in East Coast, another backup in England, and both of them take so long. From the East Coast, they have to send a CD over, the disk over, and it take about few days. By the time that they send over all this information recover, probably the same money that they pay to the ransom people to undo the whole system. So be careful when you use internet nowadays, because you use Gmail, you use Yahoo, and you hit your Hotmail and stuff like that. When people send information in, please double check their email address. Sometimes it's not legitimate people. A lot of times you see it's coming from overseas, Russia, France, and stuff like that. If you're in doubt, don't click on it, because if it's important, escrow company might call you. And nowadays, when you receive an email, they put in this email coming from an external source. So I think they're very careful of who they're going to give their information and so on. So they won't want to get into the fraudulent situation where your clients will be losing money if it's not doing right. Okay, reduce crime opportunities, security software. So you need to install security software in your system. At work and our association, I use a Norton software for all our computers. So that way, anything happening, it pop up and let us know the file is a legitimate or not. And also, I keep it up to date. Once you have the software, make sure it's up to date. Especially, you need to update for iPhone when they come out with a new iOS. Please update right away, because many times that the software will, the new software will help the security, enhance the security technology in there. Same as Android, same as other system that you use. For computers, Windows, make sure you update Windows 10 on the regular base. Nowadays, the system automatically update when you shut down or when you bring up automatic update, which is good, same as the Mac OS. So it's more secure that way. And when you handle clients' information data, make sure that you be aware. And then also later on we talk about in module number 5, we have to have some kind of retention policy for the client's data, and use of common sense too. The best 5 practice in the and this here is the take stock. So what it is you identify type and source of information you collect from the clients, identify all the ways information is transmitted, determine how and where information is stored, and determine who has access to the information. So that's, you take the stock of that. And then scale down, consider whether or not you need to collect the information. Stop collecting when you really don't need it. And after that, you lock it. Determine what kind of physical security is used to protect personal information, paper and electronic, from the unauthorized access. Paper, you probably lock it somewhere that only you or certain number of people you authorize to open, same as electronically. And there's suggestions that you can use the cloud, which is Dropbox and stuff like that. Make sure it's secure though, to store your information. Institute secure measures to protect electronic personal information stored on the device and networks. Institute measure to prevent unauthorized access. Use encryption, password protection, or firewall to protect it. What that's supposed to mean here is when you access the website, and the website has to be, if you have the buy stuff online, stuff like that, make sure the website has the security website with the word HTTPS, S stands for security. And the information that you type into the website would be encrypted. In other words, it becomes garbage. The people cannot see that particular word. So credit card information like numbers, stuff like that, it might be garbage. So the hacker come in and get information, not be able to. And of course, you have to make sure your password protected. A site responsible for detecting and alert others of security breach. Inform the employees, independent contractor, and service provider of their responsibility for protecting your business information. Okay, pitch it. You have this policy of get rid of it with a time limit. So make sure the office has the file retention policy. Check with your broker, or if you're a broker, make sure you have that. Work with your attorney to draft something like that. Distribute the policy to everybody in the office if you are the broker and independent contractor, and review those policies on a regular basis. Lastly, you plan ahead. Learn state laws or notify consumer of a security breach. Develop a written policy and procedure for what to do in case of the breach. Breach means, get hacked or something like that. Draft a sample breach notification. Ask the attorney to review those and assign responsibility for notify the consumer if that information get compromised. Last module, we talk about the company safety system. Our safety best practices, how does our company compare to another company, whether you have a policy in place or not? You don't have to wait to adopt individual precautions. Company policy must apply to everyone, every time. It could be, so you have a policy that you set up and make sure that it's going to be applied to every agent in the office. You don't want to be singled out to one person or other. And so that's be inconsistent. So company-wide commitment to safety. Also, your action could put others at risk. Are we taking risk here? What do agents and employees do, not do? Individual precautions or company best practice. You, the checklist. Now, in the manual I send you, have a lot of checklists for you, for agent, for the broker, for open house, your probably listings, and so on. So many checklists that NAR gave it to you. Use them. Decide what practice adopt for your company. There are a lot of resources. We talk about those checklists. You go to nar.realtor/safety. There you can click through it, and then many resources for you. Specifically, you click on the type in the safety resources for NAR members, and they give you a lot of resource there. And those informations are free of charge from courtesy of NAR. Many other associations also have, if you go there and you look at the resource for association, many associations throughout the states also create videos, create checklists, and so on for Realtor members to use. So please take advantage of that. I think this is my last slide. I would like to open up for question and answer, if there is any. Pauline, back to you. Sorry, did I drop everybody?
Alex will help you.
Oh, Alex, yeah, back to you. Hello, Alex.
Mute.
Yes, Alex. Hello?
I need to unmute.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. Okay, I was muted. Okay, we got a question from Mario Manson Lee. Albert, are you here?
Yeah, I'm just going back. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
Okay, the question from Mario is, what are the recommendations to protect from computer hackers? Software, any kind of.
I would start with the Norton utility, which is one of the best software. You can also look at McAfee. McAfee is another security software that you can purchase. It's not very expensive, $20, $30 per year. You can install it on a computer, and once you buy the license, you can install on your desktop, mobile phone, as well as your desktop in the office. So they allow you to install by yourself on multiple computers. So at the office, I bought it for all my staff and myself, and so we can protect our computers from those hackers. Thank you, Mario,
Okay.
for the question. Very important question.
Okay, the next question we have is from Cecilia Rudolph. The question is, does the association have this program in effect? I guess you mean the program that you're talking about, or?
So I'm not sure, Sue, you mentioned that the software that we have, that's only for staff, but not for the REALTOR member, because I think it's based on the license that you have to buy. But
No, I think she asked this question before you mentioned about the counterfeit, the
okay, McAfee
software.
and
Yeah, McAfee.
Yeah, okay.
Cecilia, can you elaborate on which program are you talking about?
Okay, unmute her. Hi, Sue.
Oh, there we
Thank you.
go. Okay. Now, my question is, does the association have a program so that everybody in the office knows how to protect themselves, how to protect the office, how to throw up a red flag if somebody walks in the door and they can sense that something's wrong? Do you have those safety precautions in effect in the office?
Thank you, Sue, for the very important question there. Unfortunately, we don't have that program, but that's something that what you suggest here would be a great resource for our members, and I will make sure that we have that available for our members. So give us a little time to make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else had any questions? So far, I don't see any other question from the chat room. Okay. So if not, then let me direct this back to Pauline.
Great. Thank you, Albert and Alex, for this wonderful section. Let's implement together for personal safety for realtors and real estate safety matters. Safe business is smart business. On behalf of West and Gabriel Valley Realtors, we would like to thank Mr. Manson Lee and Albert Tran for your fantastic and so important presentation to us during Realtor Safety Month. Thank you all for your participation today. This meeting is now adjourned. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.